The crowd could not believe their eyes. Carlos Alcaraz was down 2 sets, almost finished. Then he came back, saved match points, and won the longest French Open final ever played. Soon after, a legend spoke. Andre Agassi gave his powerful verdict. Alcaraz was not just a champion. He was a mix of Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, and Rafael Nadal combined. On June 8, 2025, Carlos Alcaraz walked onto Court Philippe Chatrier in Paris for the French Open men's singles final. His opponent was Jannik Sinner, ranked number 1 in the world. What followed was a battle that lasted more than 5 hours. The scoreline told the story: 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6. The match broke records as the longest French Open men's final in the Open era, which began in 1968. The victory gave Alcaraz his 5th Grand Slam trophy. He also became the first man since Rod Laver to win each of his first 5 Grand Slam finals. At only 22 years old, he had already defended his French Open crown. His record stood apart from every other player of his generation. The match itself showed both risk and resilience. Alcaraz was behind by 2 sets. In the 4th set, Sinner held 3 match points. The final could have ended right there, but Alcaraz saved them all. He pushed the set into a tiebreak and won it. Then, in the final set super tiebreak, he won the first 7 points and closed it 10-2. His speed, shot-making, and strength in the deciding moments stunned both fans and former players watching around the world. One of those former players was Andre Agassi. The American legend, winner of 8 Grand Slam titles, gave his assessment after watching Alcaraz's performance. Agassi said, "He can defend like Novak. He has soft hands and feels like Federer, and he can generate RPMs and pace like Rafa." Agassi explained that Alcaraz's defense reminded him of Novak Djokovic, who built his career on balance, anticipation, and the ability to turn defense into offense. He said Alcaraz's touch at the net looked like Roger Federer's precision and elegance. He also pointed out the spin and speed of Alcaraz's forehand, which echoed the heavy power of Rafael Nadal. Agassi added, "You've got the passion that keeps him fired up the whole time." He kind of has the whole package for Agassi. This passion was just as important as the physical qualities. It allowed Alcaraz to play at his best when the pressure was highest. Statistics from the French Open final gave weight to Agassi's view. Alcaraz struck 76 winners. His first serve percentage stayed above 65% across 5 sets. He made fewer than 50 unforced errors, even in such a long match. His movement allowed him to chase balls outside the court lines and still return them deep. At the net, he won over 70% of points. On the forehand side, his average spin rate nearly matched Rafael Nadal's best seasons on clay. This was not the only praise Agassi gave. He also said he believed grass might become Alcaraz's most dominant surface. "The way he moves on grass is unbelievable," Agassi explained. "His speed doesn't slow down on that surface. Alcaraz's best surface, to me, would be between here and Wimbledon. I actually think grass might be his best surface. And the reason why I say grass is his best surface has nothing to do with his swings. It has to do with the less diminishing speed that happens to him versus certain players, and his strength of legs, his balance." That prediction matched Alcaraz's record. In 2023, he had beaten Novak Djokovic in a 5-set Wimbledon final. Djokovic had been seeking a 5th straight title at the All England Club, but Alcaraz ended the run. In 2025, he lifted the Wimbledon trophy again, this time by defeating Daniil Medvedev in straight sets. Alcaraz's record by September 2025 showed the scale of his rise. He had 6 Grand Slam titles, 2 French Opens, 2 US Opens, and 2 Wimbledon titles. He became the youngest man ever to win majors on clay, grass, and hard courts. He was also the youngest since Rod Laver to capture 3 Grand Slams in a single season. Comparisons to the Big Three became clearer with numbers. At age 22, Rafael Nadal had 3 majors. Roger Federer had 1. Novak Djokovic also had 1. Carlos Alcaraz had 6. His career path was already ahead of the greatest players of the previous generation. Jannik Sinner, his rival in Paris, gave his own reaction. He said, "I had chances." He played better when it mattered most. That statement explained why Agassi described Alcaraz as unstoppable. Under the highest pressure, Alcaraz found ways to raise his game. Other rivals echoed the same thought. Tommy Paul, who lost to Alcaraz in the quarterfinals of Roland Garros, said, "He was way too quick. He took time away from me every point." Daniil Medvedev, after losing to him at Wimbledon, admitted, "He was too fast for me today." Each comment aligned with Agassi's words that Alcaraz's speed and firepower gave him an edge over everyone. Agassi went further in describing Alcaraz's mix of skills. He said, defensively, he's right there with Novak. He can turn defense into offense in one step. At the net, he has Federer's feel, and his forehand. He can put spin and speed together like Rafa. You don't usually see all of that in one player. This blend was visible across the 2025 season. At the French Open, he defended like Djokovic. At Wimbledon, he volleyed and controlled points like Federer. At the US Open, he used power and spin to dominate, echoing Nadal's best matches on hard courts. Alcaraz's emotions also became part of the story. On court, he showed passion after every big point. He shouted, pumped his fists, and raised his arms to the crowd. Agassi pointed out this quality. He said, "You've got the passion that keeps him fired up the whole time." Unlike some players who hide emotion, Alcaraz used it to fuel his performance. By winning the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open in the same season, Alcaraz became one of the few men in history to claim 3 majors in a year at such a young age. His US Open victory over Francis Tiafoe in 4 sets also returned him to number 1 in the rankings. His run through 2025 confirmed the claims made by Agassi. The French Open final was the most striking example. 2 sets down, facing match points, Alcaraz found answers. He defended, attacked, and fought through the longest final Paris had ever seen. The victory reflected Djokovic's resilience, Federer's grace, and Nadal's fight, all at once. Agassi's words captured that truth. He said Alcaraz was a rare combination: defense, touch, power, and passion. "He kind of has the whole package," Agassi said. For Alcaraz, the story is still young. At 22, he had already lifted 6 majors. His record outpaced the legends he is compared to. His speed, his firepower, and his fight kept building his case. But in the eyes of Agassi, one fact stood out above all. Alcaraz had become the first player to truly carry qualities of Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal in one game. Don't miss this story of talent, power, and history in the making. If you enjoy real sports news, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the next update.